Hola amigos y amigas, you are now with Jocelyn, and this is our weekly energy reading for the week ahead, where we are gaining a deeper understanding and higher conscious awareness of this coming week and how we can navigate it as our higher selves. I'm really excited to see how this Gemini full moon shows up in this reading as we continue to journey through the last couple of weeks, the last days of this year. So this is definitely a post-Gemini full moon, approaching the new year kind of reading. And I always set the intention that those who are meant to receive the messages from this reading align to this video. So if you align to this video, then there definitely may be some messages that you are meant to hear. And I do also want to disclaim, as always, that I do live in the city, and today just so happens to be quite a noisy morning as there's some construction going on and my neighbors have family over. So I'm going to claim that we are going to remain centered and grounded throughout this reading, and we're always going to be bringing ourselves back to this present moment with ease and acceptance of all the life happening around us. So without further ado, let's get into this reading. I already have some cards trying to make themselves known to us that came out as I was shuffling the decks and prepping my space, prepping myself for this reading. I always go through a routine, a ritual to cleanse myself, to cleanse my space, to cleanse the decks, and open my channel up to fully receive these messages. So if you yourself would like to incorporate some kind of ritual, some kind of routine, to really come into receiving messages, to come into really tuning into your emotions, your body, your reflections, then I recommend that you listen to that calling. So let's begin by lighting this incense, which honestly also serves as my timer for this reading. Okay, let's see what the overall energy for this coming week is. Post-Gemini full moon as our higher selves. As we, some of us, are surrounded by family, visiting loved ones, traveling back home. What is the overall energy for this coming week? What is the overall energy for this coming week? Post-Gemini full moon, holiday season, got Christmas coming up this next week, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it is next week. Wow. Are there any other messages for us for the overall energy? No, okay. We've got 4 messages here waiting for us, and I'm gonna get into the first 2 that immediately came out and honestly just really feel in tune with the full moon. So we've got the water guardian to connect with your emotions, and we also got the druid to hold the space. And I really feel like these 2 came out together for a reason, because we're being encouraged to hold space for our emotions. We're being encouraged to hold a safe space for ourselves, and perhaps for conversations that we need to have with others, to really connect with our true emotions, to really tap into what it is that we are feeling right now in this moment. So this week is one of those weeks where we're being called to really turn inward, to really hold that space for ourselves, for our reflections, but more so with our emotions. And it's important that we do allow ourselves to gain conscious awareness of what it is that we are feeling, because in doing so, we are strengthening our relationship to be able to communicate with our body, and therefore be able to really tune into what our intuition is trying to tell us. So this week, really make it a priority to connect with your emotions in as many moments as possible. Just check in with yourself and ask yourself, how am I really feeling in this moment? What are my emotions currently towards this experience, towards this situation? And whatever it is that arises with this full moon, with this coming week as we experience the holidays, being surrounded by family, loved ones, and yeah, just really let's hold space for insight. We also got the Lord energy to take charge with authority. And what's coming up for me is when we gain these insights of what it is that we are feeling, let's take charge in responding to those emotions in whatever way we are feeling called to, right? So if you have a certain emotion that is arising out of a specific situation in your life, out of a specific relationship in your life, really, don't just, suppress it or ignore it or not do anything about it. Really take action and step into your power by really being that leader for yourself and responding in a way that is you reclaiming your power, you honoring your awareness, you holding that space for yourself to not only feel but also heal. So take charge as well this week. Really stand tall in your being, stand tall in your knowing, stand tall in whatever messages, feelings, emotions arise, and act upon it from this higher self that we are tapping into. And speaking of higher self, we've got the eagle energy, which is to see from a higher perspective. And I feel like this could end up being a very emotional week. That's kind of what I'm getting right now. And instead of allowing our emotions to take charge of us, instead of allowing our emotions to overpower us, we are taking charge of our emotions. We are taking charge and responsibility and accountability of how it is that we are responding and not allowing it to overpower us. We ultimately are stepping into that power again and seeing from a higher perspective, right? We are seeing our insights, we are seeing our awareness, we are seeing whatever comes up from a higher perspective. So when these situations arise, should it be with a family member that you have a conversation with? Should it be an emotion that arises out of nowhere? Should it be, you're in the middle of reflecting and then you have a sudden realization about something and it makes you feel some kind of way? Take a moment to really ask yourself, what is the higher perspective here? Let me intentionally step into my higher self. And as my higher self, be active, be intentional, be mindful of how I am choosing to see this situation, see this experience, see this relationship, this dynamic, this exchange. So I feel like the essence of this week is really to stand tall in your being. And I'm feeling called to say this, but one way that you can really tap into your confidence, one way that you can really reclaim your power and just embody that leadership, authority, sovereignty within yourself is literally by aligning your posture and literally standing taller. Really opening your chest, your heart chakra, putting your shoulders back and just opening yourself up and just standing tall in your energy, because then your energy is able to emit more, it's able to receive more. And I feel like we can learn a lot about ourselves and how we're feeling and how we have the tendency to react or respond to things by just observing our body language. A lot of the times when we kind of recluse and we're kind of hunched over and we're just kind of, crossing our arms, it's this reaction, subconscious most of the time, of protecting ourselves, guarding ourselves, being timid, kind of being insecure about whatever it is that is going on around you. So really make it a point to stand tall, right? We got through this year, we learned a lot, we've learned a lot about ourselves, we've learned our lessons, we've gained a lot of awareness, we've gained a lot of wisdom. Let's stand tall in that this week, and let's intentionally show up for ourselves and respond to life in a way that reflects our higher conscious awareness, that reflects our wisdom, that reflects our growth. So let's continue to see how this reading unfolds. We've got an emotional week ahead, but we've also got a week ahead where we can really be empowering ourselves and be there for ourselves. So should any challenges arise, what energy do we tap into? Should any challenges arise this week, what energy do we tap into? Should any challenges arise this week, what energy do we tap into? Should any challenges arise this week, what energy do we tap into? Is there another card? Is there another card? Is there another card? No? I'm gonna shuffle a couple more times. All right. We already got 2 cards here that came out, and 2 that just came out just now. As I said, is there another card? We got 2 more. So it seems like there's like cards coming out in 4s, messages coming out in 4s. Again, let's ground ourselves, right? There's a lot of life going on in the background. Not sure how much you guys can hear all of what's going on. And that beeping is coming from the Xbox. I don't know why it's been doing that. If any of you are like super into tech, it is an older Xbox, so maybe that's why. But anyways, back to this reading. Okay. The first 2 cards that came out as I was prepping for this reading, the very first one is Stand Still. And again, I feel like us taking charge with authority, us really showing up for ourselves this week, is really making it a point to stand still, right? To create space for moments of pausing, right? Taking that moment to not be so quick to react to things, but really pausing and tuning into how we're feeling again, right? Checking in with ourselves and then responding to life mindfully. So whatever challenges arise this week, really remind yourself, before I react to this, let me give myself a moment to really process how I'm feeling, check with my body, check with my posture, check with my emotions, and stand still, right? Really gift yourself those moments of standing still to properly process. We also got abundance. I feel like we're really being called to start making it more of an intention to be stepping into abundance mindset, and start shedding the tendency to think of the worst case scenario, start shedding, really fully shedding any scarcity that may be arising and manifesting in our lives through our actions, through our reactions, through our emotions, through our thoughts. So just remember, right, that you are abundant, right? Abundance is your birthright, okay? And the divine intelligence that created all life created you, and you are a reflection of all that exists in all life. And there's so much proof in all of life of just how abundant it is, right? Just by looking at Mother Earth, all the ways that she's been able to provide for us, even through all of the global warming, even through the extinctions, even through all that the human family has put her through. There's still so much abundance that is available to us, and it's really just this infinite energy, this infinite potential that we can always access, we can always tap into, and that's within us. So I feel like a challenge that may arise this week has something to do with scarcity, has something to do with feeling like maybe there's not enough opportunity for you, maybe you're running out of XYZ, maybe, whatever that reflection of scarcity may be. Really remind yourself to bring yourself back to the truth of your abundance, your abundant nature, the abundance that exists within and around you. We also got the gateway, gateway. And the first thing that's coming up to mind is that any challenge that arises this week is actually a gateway. It's a portal into a new cycle. It's a gateway into something. So we're being called to not ignore the challenges. We're being called to actually confront them, lean into them, step towards them, and recognize them as the gateways towards our highest potential. Recognize them as the gateways towards new cycles. Recognize them as the gateways towards this new life. Right? So any challenges that arise this week, really see it as like, okay, how is this a gateway for me? How can I respond to this in a way where it turns into the gateway that I need to continue moving towards my highest potential, to continue moving towards this new life that I am calling in for myself? This is the first time that I ever get this card. So I want to look into what the booklet says. Magic is afoot. Wondrous events are unfolding. Profound revelations and inner illuminations are close at hand. So what's coming up for me is that the challenges that arise, that unfold this coming week, they are gateways of profound revelations and inner illuminations. So should a challenge unfold for you this week, really look at it and approach it from the perspective of, what revelation is available to me here? What inner illumination, enlightenment, awareness is available to me here in this challenge? It is now much easier to manifest your dreams. And I feel like this is saying it is now much easier for us to ascend into new cycles. It is now much easier for us to respond to life differently, right? From a higher perspective, like really embodying our higher selves. This is an excellent time to take action on your visions for your future. A small amount of action will now generate much bigger results. Gateways to spirit are opening, and there are places where the veil is especially thin. Fairies and elves are supporting you. Wonders are blossoming in your life. Watch for them. Open your heart to hollowed, holy magical energy. The more you become aware of the small marvels in your life, the more they will grow in magnitude. So the fact that action came up right in this card, I just feel like we're being called to really take action, right? No longer be so passive with what unfolds in our life. Really take action and confront these things to empower ourselves ultimately, right? To ascend, to continue growing, to continue evolving. I feel like this is a really magical week. We're stepping into post-Gemini full moon and into the holiday season and into the new year. I feel like these last couple of weeks are really going to unfold in a way where we have the power, we have the ability to transmute everything that comes up in a way that really empowers us and really, really propels us, really catapults us, serves as a catalyst towards like stepping into the new year as like our higher selves, our wiser selves, like really being confident in embodying this new vision, this new version of us that we are. Also got inner peace, right? And what's really just first thing that's coming to mind is that it's important that we prioritize our peace above everything. So should any challenge arise, again, take that moment to ask yourself, okay, let me make sure that my peace is not disturbed by this. Let me do something. Let me hold space to take action and do something that keeps me grounded in my peace before I start reacting, before I start becoming uncentered, before I start feeling disheveled. So y'all, that inner peace, just like the abundance, is within you, okay? Prioritize that, acknowledge that, and do not forget that, right? Don't abandon that truth. So prioritize that inner peace, y'all. And it's really not a week for us to be passive. It's a week for us to take action. It's a week for us to show up for ourselves confidently. What do we focus on healing this week? What do we focus on healing this week? Post-Gemini full moon, as we step into this new week, as we navigate this week, as we approach the new year, what do we focus on healing? What do we focus on healing with the intention to continue ascending into our highest potentials, to continue healing, to continue just really being in our purpose? What do we focus on healing? What do we focus on healing? Okay, so the first card that we got is grounding, and that literally is just like an affirmation of what I just said, right? Us making sure that we remain grounded in our inner peace, that we remain grounded in our abundance that exists within us. So prioritize, right, this week, really making sure that you remain grounded, because when you remain grounded, that is really going to assist whatever it is that you are working through this week. It's really going to assist whatever it is that you are healing this week. Remain grounded, remain deeply rooted in your inner peace, remain deeply rooted in your abundance, remain deeply rooted in your sovereignty, in your discernment, in your higher self. The other cards that we got, I'm reading them in order from when they came out, is divine timing, right? This is really a time for us to trust in divine timing. I feel like, the concept of time really comes forth when we approach the new year, right? So many of us start reflecting on the past year and the year ahead, and we try to rush to get things done. We try to rush to incorporate new habits, new goals, and some of us start feeling left behind. Some of us start feeling shameful, or a lack mentality, scarcity mentality of I didn't do enough. And that's also, I think, going back into the abundance card that we got, is really being mindful of making sure we're not succumbing to those scarcity kind of based thoughts and patterns and habits and responses to life. Really trust in divine timing. Ultimately, everything is in divine order. Ultimately, what didn't happen for you, the no's that you got this year, the things that didn't turn out the way you wanted them to, is ultimately a divine intervention, right? So what we really need to continue working on healing is our relationship and our faith and our trust in the unknown, in divine timing, in divine order, in divine intervention. So y'all just trust that as you continue to stand tall in your being, in your purpose, in your inner knowing, in your intention, your goodness, your love, your intention for the ways in which you are showing up in life, for the ways that you are healing, improving yourself, being there for you, trust that that is enough. Your best, however it shows up every single day, is enough. And all you gotta do is your part, and surrender, let go, and trust in divine timing, because it's gonna happen. Really, really affirm that within you. This goal, this vision that I have for myself, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I just gotta continue showing up for myself. I gotta continue to have this energy that we've been talking about throughout this reading. We also got joy, right? This coming week, y'all, allow yourselves to experience joy. Okay, allow yourselves to experience joy. Really indulge in pleasures, because that's going to be very, very healing for us this coming week. Do things that bring you more joy. Be around people that really cultivate more joy in your life. Spend time with yourself, engaging in movies and games and art and writing and books, whatever it is that brings you joy. Cooking, baking, eating, being outdoors, whatever it is, like hold space to really be in your joy this week. This is really a reading that is encouraging us to show up for ourselves, to be there for ourselves, to hold space for ourselves, and like really be like joyful about it, be confident about it, be shameless and guilt-free about it. All right, what do we focus on surrendering this coming week? What do we focus on surrendering? Are there any other cards that you would like for me to share with the collective? We've got 2 cards here that already came out. Is there another surrender that you would like for us to focus on? Okay, that's way too many cards. All right, I'm gonna get the ones that fell upright, okay? Because these are the ones that are like, look at me. Okay, pick me. So the first ones that came out are surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. Again, it's that pause that has continuously come up throughout this reading that we're being encouraged to take throughout this week. Should any challenge arise, should emotions arise, whatever the case may be, it's important that we are holding that space for ourselves to pause and to be centered, to remain grounded, and make sure that we're not out, responding and reacting in ways that we know don't serve us, that we know we've already outgrown, that we are no longer choosing to subscribe to, right? This is not that week to fall back into those things. And if you do catch yourself falling back into those things, it's also not the week to feel guilty about it, to shame yourself about it. Step back up in your power, right? Honor that awareness that you've remembered, that you've regained, and then adjust accordingly from that. But yeah, this is really the week to surrender frustration. And I feel like this card is in relation and in accordance to the following card that came out, which is to surrender comparisons with other people. So I feel like some of us, this is a message for a specific group of people who have been getting frustrated lately. And a lot of that frustration that they have been feeling is coming from comparing themselves to other people. So if you have found yourself comparing yourself to other people because you're, perceiving that their life is unfolding in a way that like your life should be unfolding, or they got things going on that you should have going on, or anything like that, again, we got to heal our relationship with divine timing, right? Really trusting that everything is going to unfold for us in divine time, and we just got to focus on ourselves. This week, really work on letting that go, right? No more comparisons, because there's no point to compare your unique divine journey unfoldment to someone else's completely unique journey and divine unfoldment. So keep your eyes trained on yourself, focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. Again, empowerment is a key word for this week, right? Empower yourself. Do what empowers you. Wow, y'all, we've got surrender to divine timing. There you go. There you go. Divine timing is here, making itself known to us. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough, according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. That is what we're healing. That is what we're calling in. That is what we're prioritizing this week. And therefore, we are surrendering to divine timing. We are trusting divine timing, right? We are being patient. We are deeply rooted and grounded in the knowing that it's gonna happen when it's meant to happen, right? It's gonna unfold in miraculous ways that I can't even imagine right now, and I'm so excited about it. I'm so grateful for it in advance, because I already know all the efforts I'm putting into myself is gonna do me so good, is already doing me so good. And I'm patient. I'm willing to be patient. I surrender to divine timing and the divine unfoldment of my life. because I know that when I do so, this journey is much sweeter, it's much softer, and it serves my highest good, right? Really like do those little pep talks with yourself, calm yourself, affirm yourself, right? Bring yourself back into your empowerment, bring yourself back into your higher self, right? Really take that charge with authority, right? Be that higher self that shows up for you throughout this week. Surrender the drama, no matter how emotionally charged the situation. Remain calm. Don't contribute to the drama. Stay centered. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. So the message of like really remaining centered and grounded has really, again, been consistent throughout this reading. So that's something that we need to be mindful of. And I feel like because many of us are going to be visiting family, being around loved ones, this time of also Venus going retrograde, right? We got Venus retrograde energy in here as well, with relationships coming up, emotions coming up. I feel like drama may also come up, right? Should the past revisit you? Should, you know, certain dormant persons or conversations or emotions arise and try to cause drama in some way, shape, or form, just don't subscribe to it, right? Be like, I don't resonate with drama anymore. We're gonna deal with this in a grounded, calm, insightful, intentional, mindful way. And if it's not the way that you want to do this, then I'm not subscribing to it, because I'm not about this drama anymore. I don't reflect that. I don't want that in my life. I don't resonate with that. That's not the vibration that I'm on. So you either meet me at this high vibration or don't meet me at all, right? Again, stand tall in your truth, in your higher self, in your awareness, in your growth. All right, what are our affirmations for this coming week? What are our affirmations for this coming week as we approach the holidays, Christmas, for those that celebrate Christmas? What are our affirmations for this coming week for us to really embody these messages and remain in alignment with our higher selves? We've got 2 cards. Is there another message? Is there another message? Another affirmation? Is there another affirmation for us? I'm going to shuffle a couple more times. Okay. So the very first one that came out as, again, I was prepping for this reading is I turn every experience into an opportunity. And I feel like this card is also very much so the energy of the gateway card, where we're being encouraged to see the gateway that is available to us in certain experience, in all experiences, in all conversations, in all situations. There's an opportunity for us, right? And that is how we can turn any experience into one that empowers us, is to turning it into an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to respond differently, an opportunity to continue healing, an opportunity to step into our higher selves. So each problem has a solution. All experiences are opportunities for me to learn and grow. I am safe. Okay, I turn every experience into an opportunity. Whoop. Yes, 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 yes. And the other card that we got is I see clearly. I willingly forgive. I breathe love into my vision, and I see with compassion and understanding. My clear insight is reflected in my outer sight. And I feel like that's a really beautiful affirmation to round everything out, because here we're seeing that, you know, my clear insight is reflected in my outer sight. For us to be grounded and centered and stand tall again in our clear insight, in our inner knowing, right? And really honoring that is going to manifest and be reflected in our outer sight and what it is that surrounds us and what it is that we are seeing in our environment. It's important that we willingly forgive and that we breathe love into our visions, that we breathe love into the situations and what we need in order to really respond to life in this way where we see clearly is, again, by holding the space, right? We've got to be holding the space for us to tune into our body and connect with our emotions and just check in with ourselves before we react to something so quickly. Just really check in with ourselves and be mindful of the ways in which that we respond to people, respond to conversations, situations, experiences, challenges, anything that arises. So my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that it brings you clarity, brings you motivation, inspiration, and assists you in really remaining in alignment with your higher self this week. I am so proud of you. I'm so grateful that you are here, and I'm so honored to receive and relay these messages to you for us for this coming week. Post-Gemini full moon, into Venus retrograde, into the holidays, and in transition towards the new year that is ahead of us. So all in all, stand tall in your truth, embody the abundance that exists within you, the power that exists within you, right? Prioritizing remaining grounded in that inner knowing, in that clear vision, that clear sight, and really take charge, right? We're not being passive. We are confronting what we need to confront, but we're going to do so mindfully. We're going to hold space for ourselves to digest, to process, to make sure we're good, and then we're going to respond in a way that is in alignment with our higher selves. We're going to see all situations from a higher perspective, right? We're not going to be so succumbed to, our thoughts, emotions, and I really identify with them because we recognize that all is temporary in this moment. And we're going to remain present, but we're also just going to see the bigger picture of how everything is kind of coming into play, right? How everything is really working in our favor. This is a beautiful week for us to continue healing, continue growing, continue ascending, and practice what we preach, right? Practice the wisdom that we've gained, the lessons that we've learned. So I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Tap into my journaling prompts for this Gemini full moon if you haven't done so already, right? They're going to be relevant for the rest of this year and into the coming year. I'm wishing you all the most beautiful week ahead. Peace and blessings. And thank you for being here. Bye.